One of Rory's great hobbies is reading and adored crime novels, and obviously the spy espionage thing, particularly that period of espionage. It was the four spies, etc. So Philby had been the one who had sort of got away, as it were, and evaded the capture. So I think the song very much describes what Rory saw as to have to live a life, jumping from pillar to post and moving on constantly, watching your back. By then, years on the road, touring, and then the demands set on Rory as an individual, because Rory was writing his material, he was producing his material. He really put a lot of demands on himself. It's very much a parallel between what he saw his life as a troubadour musician, trying to stay ahead of the game and watch all the corners. There's an element to that about the song, but he was intrigued particularly with Philby. He felt that Kim Philby had the last laugh and bucked the system in terms of the espionage side. And of course, the instrument he uses on, which is the sort of one of the key features, the electric sitar, which is a choral guitar just for the enthusiasts, it gives it that kind of Russian balalaika effect. I think there was something like 10 or 20 of those guitars left in the world. They were also very heavily featured on the Talma Motown records. You always hear lovely tints of that electric sitar. Gave it that lovely flavour. He was extremely driven, being so dedicated to music, basically forsake all else, treating it like a vocation. So he was a very solitary person, had obviously lots of friends and companions, but really didn't what you'd term intimate close friends. He didn't have any relationships. He stayed very solitary. So earlier on, which we weren't too aware of, he had developed a terrible fear of flying because of the amount of travelling we were doing. So he'd gone to the doctor and said this anxiety about flying and the travelling and the pressure. So he was given prescribed medication, which a lot of these prescribed medications are now banned substances. At the same time, Rory wasn't a particular type. He certainly didn't smoke, or he didn't indulge in drugs. So he was very innocently brought into taking medication. And also, unknowns to him, it was eating away at his own energy. So he would then need something to kick him, to boost him. A couple of brandies soon does that, and of course sooner or later the medication and alcohol are tearing against each other. He was feeling pains, so back to the doctor again, who put him on a very strong paracetamol. It was the worst thing to do for the liver. Was he went for the operation, he had the operation, recovered quite well. It was quite staggering actually to find the day after he was almost conscious again, even though he was still in intensive care. I think he was in the hospital about 2 months and recovering well. He was due to be dispatched to convalescence. Sadly, he got a bug in the hospital, and the bug actually took him out. So it's a case of if the left one don't get you, the right one will. Really had the common touch. There was no airs or graces about Rory. He never put himself on a pedestal. Even though he's an extremely shy, isolated person in one way, he was developing with musicians the conversation language through instruments. He was an exceptional personality. I really have no one to parallel him with.